I want to talk a little bit about fake news for a minute. I watched a report this morning on ABC where they sort of put together a compilation of all of the worst things, video that has come out of this storm. And if you just watch that in its entirety, there's no context to it. And so you would get the idea that Florida is absolutely destroyed. Well, Florida's not destroyed. And, you can see this planter, this potted tree behind me that got knocked over. If I stand right here, it looks like there's a lot of destruction here. But if I just pivot this way a little bit, you see that all these shops behind me are open and they're doing business. There's a GNC, some little mom and pop shops and that sort of thing. People are out on the street. They're shopping. They're putting their lives back together in a hurry. And so while it's true that there are a lot of people that suffered catastrophic damage to their homes, there needs to be some context to that. If you go a block around me in any direction, it looks just normal. It doesn't look like anything has really changed that much. They are starting to clean up down on the waterfront where a lot of the trees came down, and they're going to have a lot of work to do to get things back to normal down there. But the people here are getting back to normal rather quickly, and that's what I wanted to point out. Now, one other thing I wanted to say, Grant, and that is in talking with these people, the thing that they say has frustrated them the most is the fact that they were told to leave their homes and flee or go to a shelter or whatever. And now many of them are not being allowed to go back into their homes by the police. And so they're saying, they shouldn't be able to keep us out of our own homes, out of our own neighborhoods, that sort of thing. And so there's got to be there's this tension between the need to keep people safe, the need to avoid the looting that we've seen in other places, and the need to allow people to have the freedom to go into their homes and assess the damage and start the cleanup process. We saw the same thing in Houston. We saw the same thing here. And I would say that it really, in the end, is going to end up putting people at more risk, because the next time something like this happens, more people are going to say, you know what, I'm going to stay here in my home and ride it out. I'm not going to leave because I don't know when or if they'll ever let me back in.
Yeah, Chuck, the other thing that's a big concern is looters. We're seeing more looting going on in Florida than we did down in the Houston area of Texas for Harvey last week. Any updates on looters?
Well, I asked a policeman this morning about it, and he said there hasn't been a lot of it here in Miami. Some, scattered cases, that sort of thing. But you're right, there has been more, and probably because the geographical area that this storm affected was so much greater, there's going to be likely be more reports of that kind of thing happening. I will also say that in Texas, I saw everybody open carrying firearms, and so it was a very polite cleanup process, to say the least. In contrast, I've not seen anybody carrying a firearm since we've been here. And, there certainly are probably people concealed carrying, but something about that, having people, just wearing it right there on their hip, that tended to make everybody just a little bit more polite.